Hey, Robert Davis back here with you after a brief hiatus to work on my family history program. Um, Today I want to show you a great addition to virtually any of your database applications, and that's how to create a pick list and then use that to find your record instead of into a search box, typing names into a search box and using that. I have both features now in my family history database program, but um, the pick list is the handiest way to get to a record. So here we go. This is Delphi 10.4 in RAD Studio 10.4.2 Sydney. And what we've got is a main form here. We called it PickList Sample Stub. Um, that's because I developed this in a small application outside of the family history database program, and so I didn't have to mess with a huge application at the same time. So I just did it this way. As you can see, I'm using the Universal Data Access components from devart.com. I have a license for those. I'm licensed for everything I'm going to show you here. And we have a connection which handles our connection to the database that we're using. We've created a query that connects to unit connection 1. And we've written the SQL to get what we want from the database. And here we'll show you. This creates a string called full name, which is the last name, comma, space, first name, space, middle name as the full name. And it also gets the three fields separately from main table in the application or in the database, where last name is not blank and ordered by last name, first name, middle name, so it's in order. And of course, you have to have a data source. Unidac makes their own data source for their Unidac components. And then you have to declare the provider, the database provider, which in our case is Access. And it's an MDB, which I think is a 2003 style database. And that suits our needs perfectly. And it will run on virtually most any machine on Windows. I don't know about Linux because I don't use it. I don't even have it. But here we go. We've also got a TList box, and that's going to display our strings called full name. And then you can't see them, but we've got 3 labels here that will show us what we've picked. Then we've got a simple quit button that quits this form and goes back to Delphi in the raw. Okay, so let me show you what this will do. I'll run this. And here we go. This is my database main table. And there's all the full name fields. And the double click event will requery the query table and display for you what it was you selected. And you can see that it does a variety of different styles of names. This is my cousin, and she has different style of name. And my niece. Anyway, you get the drift. Another relative. Oh, double click that. Yeah, there we go. And you can see them down here. It's a result of requerying the main table to get the 3 fields that we display. And let's see, there's one up here. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, this one. Hyphenated first name, Annie Lou. So you see, it works there. Okay, let's look at the code for all this. It's pretty interesting and not very complicated. So here we go. This is the code for the button on the form. It just closes the connection to the database, which closes the query and everything associated with it, and then it terminates the application. And I just do this for this stub application. Then on the form create, here's where we open the connection to the database, open the connection to the query. We clear the list box, and then we go to the first record in the query. And while we're not at the end of the query, we're starting at the first. We make sure that the full name is not null. That can happen for whatever reason. It's just make sure something's selected. And we populate the list box items with that string. You see here's the comma space and different fields. And then we go next, and it goes till the end. So that populates the T list box. And here's where we make our money. The list box double click event is coded this way. It's very simple and straightforward. We declare some variables, one for the integer of the position that we're going to calculate, and 3 for variables to hold the actual field names. No, I'm sorry. Hold the different parts of the name into string variables. So we always want to make sure something's selected in the list box. And if it is, we start in my string right here. And then we start to parse the string and get the different parts. So here we're replacing the spaces with asterisks. These are the ASCII codes that Delphi likes to see for the different characters. And I've also found that space is not necessarily, a single quote, space, single quote. It's not a reliable way. It's more reliable to use the ASCII codes. So we replace the string with an asterisk delimited field. And here we simply get the position of the comma, and the asterisk. And we store that into a temporary variable called stempln, which means last name. And we copy and trim that all up. Then we keep going down the string till we get to where we store the middle name, which is the last part of the string. And then we query the query, which is not unusual. And if we can locate the field's last name, first name, middle name based on the variables of stemp ln, stemp fn, stemp mn that we parsed, then if we find it, show the query results in the labels. And these are from the actual fields, not the full name field. So one more time, let's look at that, how that works. There you go. I like this one because it's different. So, and she's my favorite cousin. So, there you have it. It's, got to double click pretty quick too. I think that's something you can set in your Windows setting. This is another kind of unique one. Oh, it's not doing it. There are some cases where it doesn't find it, but we find all the rest. I may have to revisit that. Matter of fact, I did when I wired this up to the main family history program. Quit out of that for a second. Let me just show you real quick. We've gone over this before, but we're going to go to Project, Options, Appearance, and pick. Diamond's pretty cool. See that? Yeah. And run that again. And there we have diamond. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'll just leave this open and I'll show you how this works now in the application that I built. This is my genealogy application or family history application. It's pretty big, has a large database, and we deal with pretty much anything involved with family history. And what I've done is I've coded in that PickList stub, removed the quit button, and get this find by PickList. Oh, I do have the close button in case you just want to close it. So there you go. You see it at work. Now, I've left in this part. So if you really want to use that, you can use that. But my preference is, and I know many users' preference is, the PickList. So that's really all that's involved. You can do lots of things with this family tree database. So if you like that PickList code, here it is again. My little granddaughter. So try this in your own database programs. Get to a record real quick. One of the things that I didn't mention was that you see on this stub form, we have all the database connectivity that we need. I do the same thing in the family history program. Use the form's own query and result set to bring the record up in the main table, which then you can edit, modify, delete, add, whatever you like. So there you have it in a nutshell. I hope you like this. Thanks for staying with me, and I'll see you in the next tutorial pretty soon, I hope. Okay, y'all have a great night, and talk to you soon. Bye.